Hello, welcome to today's reading, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today we're going to be looking at a connection that's on your mind and the truth that you need to know about what's going on. As it's a collective reading, particularly a collective love reading, I do invite you to tune into your inner guidance, to your inner wisdom, your own higher self, your spirit guides, and ask to have clear discernment to see what is for you and what is not. In all cases, just trust what resonates and also trust what doesn't. So first thing, we had surrender to the divine on the bottom of the deck. And the other card that came out that I've put away now in the pre-pull was your commitment is being tested. So straight up, there's something going on that's clearly causing a lot of doubt in your mind. There might be certain deep wounds and emotions that are being triggered at this time, which is why I felt called to dig in and see exactly what's going on. So I want to start by getting some cards on your energy in relation to the connection at the moment. Then we'll get some cards on the other party, what's going on with their energy. Just to keep this respectful and not to be sort of encroaching on anyone's space and anyone's privacy, what we'll be doing is asking specifically for messages from their higher self that their higher self would like you to know about what's going on with this connection. And to finish up, we'll get some cards on advice for how to navigate. And depending on how the reading goes, we might also get some cards on what's coming for the connection itself. All right. So what is your current energy, please, around this connection? Wow, we have Sapphire. We have the bedroom as well. Okay, so this could be related to experiencing a lot in sleep during dreams. It could also be around things going on in that intimate space around the bedroom. And then we have baggage as well. So straight away I'm seeing excess and particularly unresolved issues coming out. Here we've got fearing separation as well. There's seemingly like a lot of heaviness around this. There might be some separation anxiety that's come up. And this feeling of like, it's like a long journey. What else do we have? We have fishhook. So you might be feeling a little bit sort of powerless or lost around the situation at the moment. I'm seeing temptation here as well. What is tempting you? We have microphone and speaking up. That's come out with that bedroom card. So there might be certain things that are coming up for you to do with what's going on in the bedroom, in that intimate space that you haven't shared, that you've been suppressing. There's definitely a feeling of like suppression and needing to overcome that floating around. We have heart and home. We have worry beads. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of anxiety around this sort of, we'll say, space of safety, space of comfort that you would have found in the heart. This person might feel like home to you. And so perhaps when there is conflict or uncertainty within the connection, it's triggering a lot of fears and insecurities around the sort of heart. Home is where the heart is space. And then we have urn as well. So this is really a card about the feeling of loss, of bereavement, the grief of needing to mourn some kind of loss within the relationship, or maybe a loss that you've experienced recently. This could also be that grief that was once repressed from the past, feelings around grief that haven't been processed yet, that are being brought to the surface, that are being triggered for you to look at. And that's what this current situation is doing for you. Whew. So at the very center, we do have microphone. So it does seem like a lot of the perhaps concerns, or what's weighing on your mind and what's weighing on your heart at the moment is how to actually communicate and speak up honestly about how you're feeling or the things that are in your mind about what's coming up for you. And it seems like for some reason you're like overthinking with the worry beads coming up here. You're like overthinking how to actually go about sharing these thoughts. And so this energy is becoming quite like, it's almost growing stronger the more that you're oppressing it, the more that you're overthinking it, rather than maybe having just like said the thing as it came up in the moment. It's now spent a fair bit of time like ruminating and growing into something bigger than it was, because you've been keeping it like held somewhere, but you keep like niggling at it as well and keep picking at it too. Okay, let's see on the other side, the other party. How are they feeling about this connection? What's going on there? We'll get just a general idea from their higher self about their perception on what's currently going on, and get the energies around the other party, please. Okay, so we have eyeglasses, which is all about like evaluating. It talks about perspective, seeing things clearly. We've had roses come up, which is a lot of love, a lot of romance and affection, appreciation. It's very, like a romantic energy. It's an energy of gifts. Often when this card has come up for me or people I've given personal readings to, it's like actual flowers. Wouldn't be so surprising. I think the last few times I got this card, I did literally get flowers not long after that. So wouldn't be surprised. Bit of a plot twist if, despite how you're feeling about this connection, you might be receiving some fairly sweet gifts sooner than you would expect. We do have a timing card that's come out as well. Within the next few months, this situation or event has a potential to develop or unfold. So there's a particular timing question on your mind. It seems like what's coming up is like you're looking at months rather than days, weeks, or years. Okay. So there's something that they've been evaluating that's giving them quite a headache. We have literally the headache card that's come up. It feels like they're also really needing some self-care, right? That they're also in a bit of a state of, like, it says underlying conditions here. So there's some kind of root issue that they're seeing symptoms of, and they're looking at that at the moment. And whatever they're looking at right now, the answer that they're coming to is no. So depending on your situation, that could be either way. We're not like something around this that they're looking at, trying to like analyze and judge more clearly and like examine, is giving them too much of a headache. So perhaps it's like they're almost just needing to stop that altogether. We've had coin toss. So yeah, there's a lot of like on the other side, this like consideration of yes or no. And then we have two last cards that have come out. So there's inventor. It's very Three of Wands, like creating. There's a bit of like perseverance there as well. That's come out with the Crown of Thorns. So the other party is really in a place where like they're looking at things around sacrifice and self-sacrifice. We've had Pillory come out as well. So this is quite a heavy card. They're definitely, like, if they've got an avoidant tendency, they might be in a state of shutdown at the moment because they're just so overwhelmed. So they could be even feeling numb. That could be causing them to take quite, this like intellectual, going with the mind rather than the heart, that kind of feeling to try to figure out how to go about it. But at the center, they've got yoga as their card. So what this says to me is that at the moment, what their higher self is trying to express is that they need to go back to whatever practices they have or had around like healing, around balancing their own energies. They need to come back to their own center. And that's what their focus is on at the moment. But there seems to be something around this connection that for them brings up feelings of dishonor or severe discomfort, where they feel a lot of shame around it. There's a lot of fear around judgment, and then alongside that there's this consideration of what it means to sacrifice, what it means to be persecuted. And then this is also a card about divine love. So that could mean one of two things. However it plays out, whether it's your connection specifically with you being like a channel for them to access and understand divine love, or, well, I guess it's one and the same thing. It's like this heaviness that's going on at the moment that's causing them to sort of ruminate a lot, where they need to find their center again. That process, right, will also help them to form like a clearer bond with this divine love. There's this idea, I think something around like the kind of current energies that they're navigating. It's related to like mind versus heart, which is this dichotomy that's been set up, right, in the modern day world, or I guess for a long time, of like it's the mind versus the body, or the mind versus the heart. And actually there's many channels and like nerve endings connecting our hearts to our brain. And what they have found is it's not just the brain sending information to the heart. The heart actually sends a lot of information to the brain. It's got its own system of I guess neurons. I don't know if I'm saying like the right terminology, but there is physical evidence of a heart mind that also exists, and that works together with the brain mind. And so it's not this like this versus that, we're against each other. It's very much like they work as a unit, as a whole. And it is finding this alignment rather than this like segregation internally that is a big part of connecting with that greater source and greater divine love. So it's looking like the other party is somewhere in the midst of that exploration and that direct experience at the moment. Okay, and I want to look at the shared energy between the two of you. What is the shared energy, please, of this connection? We have checkered flag, so coming to the end of some kind of cycle. We have curtain call. This is you're watching a movie, so there might be like a lot of projection going on between the two of you towards each other. And then we have chess, yeah, so it's like planning, strategy, master plan, power play. It could be that with the dynamic, what's happened is within both of you, there's been this very calculated energy towards each other. Let's see what other cards come out. There's the gavel. So there's definitely a weight on both of you, feeling like there needs to be a decision made at the moment. And then you're coming to that sort of place. We have empty nest as well. So yeah, once again, like completion of a cycle, moving on, separation. There's a void, a finale. And we have old car, so weary, exhaustion, family patterns could be really weighing on this connection at the moment. And then we also have stuck in the past. Bone tired, exhaustion. Whew. Whoever this reading is for, like this connection for both of you, it seems like for a while it's really been causing a lot of like stress. Both of you are feeling a little bit exhausted and drained from all of the games that are being played. And the fact that this chess card, it didn't come out in either one of your energies, it came out in the shared energy. So this is something that you're both doing. and it's not sustainable, actually, is what's clearly coming up. So we have train, another moving on card that's coming out here. We have scuba diver coming in with empty nest and curtain call. Ooh, so there's a few cards reflecting the idea of this void that's been left behind, this void that you're both feeling. At the center, we have this empty nest card, so no one home. I feel like what this is showing me is that you're both feeling, right, like the lack of the other party's presence. So probably on some levels, both sides are experiencing like a shutdown or like a certain level of avoidance of the relationship, of the connection, that what might have once felt very like home and very secure now feels very empty, or like literally you're dealing with a house that is now emptier than what you're used to. Okay, I've got one last card for the shared energy. Interesting. 10 of Pentacles. Cufflinks. So this is like wealth. This is tradition, attention to detail, luxury. This looks like a certain kind of lifestyle that was being built or being worked towards. And then yeah, we've had the Labyrinth card come out. So it's like there's delays around that, or there's like a catch-22 situation around sort of what you were establishing or have established in the material world together. Maybe you share a house together, maybe it's property, a project, a business you're working on together, and then it was going well or it was on track, and then there's been delays or like some kind of block, some kind of catch-22. It's become like a problem to solve. It says it's complicated, complex. However, what is really interesting in your shared energy, with the emptiness being there in the middle, in the unconscious placement of that, you have scuba diver. And then this card, let me show you. So it's come out like this. These three cards are all together. Okay, so we have curtain call, empty nest, scuba diver. This to me, like the fact that you were just watching a movie, like on some level, there's like a mental movie, a mental narrative going on around what's happening for both of you. And then the general theme is like, what happens when you're dealing with an empty nest? You're both feeling like that loneliness. And then it's come out with scuba diver. This card is all about, introspection, going within, looking at the unconscious mind, exploring what comes up when you're really feeling like lonely, when you're really feeling isolated, what is coming up in that moment. And it's also a space and an opportunity to explore, right? Maybe what needs to be healed, but it seems like definitely the shared energy for this connection, like there's an ending of some kind of cycle. If the connection itself hasn't ended, then it's some kind of cycle within the connection that's shifting. So if there's been a lot of heaviness and conflict, this is good news. That cycle's coming to an end. Whatever the outcome or aftermath will be past that point, we haven't looked at yet, but we're getting very clear reassurance that like you're going to have an outcome. The verdict, the results are going to be coming out. We've reached there. And this also says finishing first. So there's like a feeling of like, it's not like a sad ending. It's just feeling relieved. It's like a welcomed ending, when it's like maybe this sort of like, like the liberation stage of like being confused and being lost and not being certain like what to do, that there's going to be some clear decisions that will be made. And they're definitely going to lean towards moving on, not necessarily from each other as people or from the connection, but moving on from whatever this last like heavy cycle has been, that energy, you'll be moving on from that for sure. There could literally be a journey or like some kind of train ride coming up soon for both of you as well when that's come up. Okay, I'd like to get some cards on the overall advice from both of your higher selves for this situation. It does seem like obviously when the home is involved, when the heart is involved, when we have this much worry around like a big decision, it's really important that you do have a lot of self-compassion as you go through this. And then you might find that that self-compassion also opens your heart space up to forgiveness and understanding, not in a way that's forced, but in a way that is sort of divinely supported as well, coming from that perspective of understanding in like a deep way what exactly is playing out. And I think whenever we get to that very honest space, looking at conflict from like the divine perspective, you always realize how any kind of anger generally in well-adjusted people, or in most people, it's hiding pain, right? Below it is pain, and including yourself when you have negative emotions that are surfacing, when there's a lot of conflict coming up. What's going on internally, right? Rather than sort of treating it as though there's something wrong with you, with like whatever feelings are coming up, are you able instead to approach it from a place of curiosity and compassion of like, hey, why am I avoiding this? Or like, what are these feelings showing me? What is the pain that I'm trying to avoid? Not an easy thing to do by any means, but I guess on some level why we're all here. Can we please get some advice, Spirit? Can we just get some advice for whoever's watching about this connection, what's going on at the moment? What is the higher guidance during this period? Thank you. For a lot of cards. Oh! Sorry, the first card that's come out is chocolate. Go eat some chocolate. No, this is about like self-soothing, self-regulating, right? That chocolate, it can be about love, it can be romance, just treating yourself, doing things right, elevating the mood. I'll say aphrodisiac as well. Sometimes when there's a lot of conflict going on, part of us feels like, oh, we have to get it all sorted out now before you can like share any moments of levity. And it's like, that's ego, or that's pride. Maybe you don't have to completely resolve everything immediately to be able to just share a nice moment. And oftentimes if we're engaged in like intense, heavy conflict with someone we love, you need little breaks, right? To like share a loving moment before kind of getting into the nitty gritty of the issue again. So yeah, chocolate. You're getting guidance. You're both getting guidance to do some like just small actions that are really sweet. You can, I don't know, like be mad at someone and still care for their well-being, their overall well-being, and you can still get them like a little chocolate, or you can recognize that you're not sort of against each other in this situation. It's more like a shared experience that you're both going through together. We've had telephone, so communication. This is twofold, right? Because you did have the microphone as your center card. So whatever lesson is here for you with the current situation, it's around like how you speak up for yourself, how you share what's going on internally. And so, yeah, there's coming out in the guidance, there's like further encouragement to keep doing that. There's a two-way street, something around the throat chakra as well. So any like rituals or practices that can help you to clear your throat chakra, to open that up. Even some of those kinds of positions would be very helpful. We have rubber band that's come out as well. So this is like some kind of breaking point. We've got resistance here. It's something like the stronger your resistance, the more pressure that's actually building. And as soon as you can let go of that resistance, you'll find whatever you're resisting is actually not nearly as intense or as scary as maybe that like resistance energy is trying to tell you it is. You know, maybe saying like, no, you can't let go. Like, I've got this freaking rock on my chest and I can't breathe and I want to face it, I just want to avoid it. But once you actually sit down, kind of like let yourself maybe cry a little bit, let some of that out. You're like, oh, I don't know why I was avoiding that for so long. That wasn't so bad. We have 50-50 at this time. Things could go either way. We have crew, so in sync, there's kind of like team spirit. There's something about partnership, leadership, forming alliances, camaraderie. We have fishing poles, so self-reliance. Got happening now in the same line as the telephone communication card. So if there's not any contact, there's been no communication between the two of you, that's about to change. This is happening now. The situation or event is occurring right now. There will be communication, and the spirit of the communication will be about like working together as a unit, like us against the problem rather than us against each other. That seems to be, yeah, like the energy. And then we have friends. Let's come up with a third person as well. But then that's also come up with roundabout and community, many working parts and perfect timing here. What's on the bottom of the deck? Yeah, repairman. Healing, fine-tuning. So right now it's important that both of you focus on finding your own centers again, on finding your own autonomy, finding your own sovereignty. Is that the right word? That's a theme that's been coming up a lot. For you, like another theme coming up with the collective recently is the difference between isolation and introspection. The difference or nuance between feeling alone and feeling lonely. And obviously, at least in my personal experience and from what I've heard from other people too, like I've felt very lonely while surrounded by people. And I've also felt very like full and very connected while being alone, which just shows that it's an internal sort of state rather than an externally driven state, whether you feel alone or whether you feel lonely. Just, yeah, like let me know, is that true for you as well? Have you felt lonely while being surrounded by people, but then also felt very like happy and connected and fulfilled while in your own space by yourself? And then is that true for you too, that like whether you're feeling alone or lonely, it's totally dependent on your perspective at the time and your state of mind, more so than like what's going on in your external world. So that's something to look at. Got connecting with nature, that's always a really good one when we're having difficult moments, right? I'm quite lucky here. Nature is just there. But in times when, oh, this is really specific. It's like if you're not surrounded by nature, it could just be really simple things like, are you so connected to your devices and like sound and the comfort of needing like external stimulus? Or can you sit in silence for like at least a little while? That's also a version of getting in touch with nature. And then I'm getting like, when you go to the bathroom, that could be a good opportunity for someone here to start practicing welcoming and sitting with that silence rather than having your phone while you're on the bathroom nature calls. Like maybe that can be a time just to like let yourself be quiet. No, that came through for someone. Take it as it resonates. So yeah, there's a lot of like the higher guidance in terms of dealing with this building tension, it's also suggesting that you do lean on like your community, you lean on the other people and connections that you have in your life to help you through this. And that's for both of you, actually. That's that recommendation. Like, spend some time. You don't even necessarily have to talk about this, but you've both maybe been a bit too lost in this space, and then it would be grounding to like lean on your other connections during this time. There's something about like you don't even necessarily have to take on their opinions or like like have them help you figure out what to do. It's not necessarily that. It's literally just by being in communion with other people with that kind of energy, and you'll find that you get little signs, or you hear little phrases, or you'll hear little stories about what other people have sort of like experienced, and that's going to really help you to like ground and get a clearer perspective on what's happened for you, or like where you're at. And then that'll really help. Like, there's some deep healing going on at the moment, right? Some deep reparations that aren't going to happen overnight. It's not going to be comfortable, but it's good. There's just some adjustments and things that need fixing and fine-tuning. Anything else from here? Shall we see what's coming? Yeah, should we see like what is the likely outcome for this connection? What's coming next? Or do we want to look at why this connection has come into your life? So this is the card from another deck that I still haven't gotten around to putting back yet, and it's the White Feather. So this is the Miracle card. This to me says, it says forgiveness and reconciliation, and it says rise above. I'm getting chills, which is a big sign as well. If your heart is hoping for reconciliation, it will absolutely come. If your heart is at the point where it's just, it's really ready to walk away, that's okay as well, right? There's free will in all of this. There's no wrong decision for you to make, whether it's stay, whether it's leave, whether it's, I don't know, or whatever the situation is. What is really important, however, is how you go about making that decision. And I would just encourage you, or the message that's coming through is encouragement to look at where you are moving from when it comes to making that decision. Are you moving from a place of fear, or are you moving from a place of love? Because staying out of fear is as bad as leaving out of fear. And staying out of love is as good as leaving out of love. Because it's like, if both parties stay and decide to keep trying, and they're both coming from a place of fear, it's only going to feed more into the toxic elements, right? And then that's like, oh, well, like, you're both staying, this is continuing, but it's like not healthy or beneficial for anyone. Versus if you both decide to make whatever decision based on love, whether that is staying, then at least what is being built, right, out of that decision is something that is loving, whatever that might look like. Love isn't always like flowers and peace, right? Sometimes it is like looking the like crap in the face, honestly, and doing like rolling your sleeves up to like clean it up, rather than just kind of like sprinkling some perfume over and hoping that no one notices, sweeping it under the rug. So we're asking about, right, like what's coming for this connection? What is the likely outcome overall from here? Like what is the next chapter? And the very first card that's come out is that card about like miracles, about trust, about taking that leap of faith. It's a very encouraging, positive sign for your heart to settle and not to worry that, this is all happening for you, not to you. All right, so what's coming for this connection, please? Thank you. Ooh, optical illusion, not what it seems. Okay, what is coming? There's some kind of trickery. We do have burden, weight of the world, responsibilities. Got a card flipped here. What's coming? Mirror. So you're definitely mirroring each other. This is self-love and self-appreciation as well. What is coming for this connection, please? Oh, wow. You have happening now. I'm actually going to take them as like a set. You have happening now and the water carrier. So this card just reiterates that there's deep, deep healing going on. I really relate that to the Temperance card in Tarot as well. So this also talks about communication. It talks about being unselfish, about care for others, generosity, a calm life, and deep compassion. We have birdcage. So you can see that. I don't know if that's you, the other party, or perhaps if you're both mirroring each other, how you're both kind of feeling. There's possessiveness, there's codependency, there's, a feeling of being trapped. Got jealous here as well, and we also have watched. Okay, what's coming for this connection, please? Oh, okay. Wow. You have the Soulmates card with flamingos. Union. Attraction, long-term potential. This is happening soon. We have Dynamite. Oh, wow. Okay. And then you also have Anamkara. Unconditional love, soulmates. There's two... In the whole deck, there's two cards about soulmates, and you've had them both come out. Along with Dynamite, that has like a 5 of Wands energy, so... And with Roadblock. Okay, so... This is an intense connection. Hey, you guys have a lot to work through, but here it says uncommon bonds, devoted, best friends, infinite love, unconditional love. Yeah, we have long-term potential, 2 of a kind, displays of affection, courtship. Whatever's going on between the two, like this connection is definitely not over. There's definitely like a very strong soul bond here. However, it looks like there will be certain blocks. Okay, the blocks, the bedroom cards come out as again. This was your card at the start, so it looks like some of the blocks could be around like whatever you have going on with how you're thinking of this situation. I'm hearing that it's like this isn't trivial, right? Like the things that are coming up for you around this connection, it's not trivial. They're very deep wounds that from one level were formed from like childhood trauma. From another spiritual perspective, it's lifetimes of karma being worked out as well, right? So it's like, it's understandable, but I feel like Spirit is kind of giving this reminder like, hey, this is like a big thing that you're working through at the moment. You need to have patience with yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. There's the Mirror card here. So you're both in the process of working through some deep shit, right? Some like really tender wounds that have been there for a long time, to the point where like the psychology and both of your personality systems have probably been built up around and within those wounds. And so when something feels like it's so deeply a part of who you are, of course it's going to be really fucking painful when you try to burn it away, or when you try to actually see it for what it is and let it go. So particularly, yeah, like whatever stuff around the bedroom that's been coming up for you, it's not easy to overcome, but you're being encouraged. Like, this is the dynamic for that to be healed in, right? You can really have faith and trust that there is healing happening, and then it will keep happening, right? It's just happening soon. And it says like not what it seems. So whatever this next chapter, I'm hearing like it is going to hurt as much as it's going to heal, which is sometimes part of that process. And it's really going to be a time where you're asked like to give yourself a lot of grace, to always at any point when you're like, especially when you're feeling particular frustration to the other party, it's like you're mirroring each other, right? Like they're experiencing their own version of that same level up, of that same evolution. That's like can be quite a painful process. But two soulmate cards plus the white feather, like this is so divinely guided. This is clearly like a part of whatever soul contract you guys have. And the fact that the optical illusion card is here as well with like the weight of the world. It may look like a shitstorm. I'm swearing so much. I don't normally, anyway, guess that's the vibe today. It might, like, it'll look a lot worse than what it probably is. It's like, I think to your mind, it's like a lot of things are going to look a certain way, and there's some level of trickery around that perception, or like something is affecting your perception related to this wounding. And then the truth of the situation in this next chapter is that there is going to be deep, deep healing that is happening. Okay, for you and the other party. And it looks like a lot of that healing, a lot of the blocks, it's around that, this feeling caged. Right? I feel like a desire to be free. Any more, like, can we know any more about like what's coming for this connection? So truth and justice, due process, sword and scales, and fishing pole. Yeah, okay. We're not getting this kind of like clear yes or no answer. I'm not seeing any cards on walking away, but there are a lot of cards about like self-reliance and finding your own autonomy again. So it's looking like one of those like it could go either way, it's up to you, but the general themes that will come up in this next chapter, whatever decisions are made, is like a harmony, like a rebalancing of energies that had become distorted. A deeper understanding of like the deep soul connection that has unfolded and is unfolding. There will be still, right, like a lot of issues around tension building, around experiencing setbacks, around experiencing barriers and blocks and feeling paralyzed, feeling stuck, taking little detours, having temporary setbacks. Like it's not going to be a straight run. And all of that is like specifically designed for you to heal something that needs to be healed for both of you. And it is, the themes are around, yeah, like being fully secure in yourself. I guess you both might have, well, with two double soulmate cards, it's probably a very intense connection, so it makes sense that you might have both lost yourself a bit with like the intensity of what's come out, what you've triggered in each other. But I see as well here, like there's a lot of love. It's a lot of love. Anything else, Spirit, about this connection? Wow, Phoenix. The end is just the beginning. Rising from the ashes, a new era. Whoa, that's so strong. Yeah, and then exploration, finding your way. Okay, I see. I see. This is going to be, like, I promise you, right now and then the next chapter that's coming, these are going to be moments that you look back on in probably a few years' time, in 10 years' time even, and you pinpoint that moment as like a moment in your life where something really changed, where you really like stepped into yourself, or like a certain version of yourself that was more authentic to who you, like what you wanted to express and experience in this lifetime. So it's going to be a really, really special period with a lot of like mainly self-discovery. It's going to be very self-centered around like self-love and self-reliance and autonomy and what that means. And then it's not so much like it's all about me, cut everyone else off. It is very much that like I take care of myself, I fill my own cup, so I'm able to show up for like those around me better. Something like you're both being shown what happens like in the connection if you're not taking good care of yourself. And then it's like this is going to be a dynamic that you both need to be able to endure if you really want this to last in the long term, because over that next lifetime, you will have many moments like this where you'll both be, like transforming again and getting thrown off course so that you practice finding center again. Just like I'm hearing, if you took like once your emotions calm down a bit, if you really take stock of what's going on, you'll realize too, like, wow, like how much you've sort of learnt about yourself and how you interact and like, what triggers you and why that's happening, all of that. And then finding very like sustainable ways and methods of like understanding yourself from a loving perspective, and then learning ways of coping with a very healthy and very sustainable. All of that's going to be unfolding in this current and next chapter for you in terms of this connection. So the other party will also be going through something similar. I just want one last, okay, let's get one of these just to get a sense of like, we'll get like some overall cards just to close up the reading, like overall vibes of the connection. Overall vibes of the connection, please. I'll get one of these Voice of the Soul's Oracle. Thank you. Interesting. And then do I want a moon card? Chakra card. Okay. Let me go for these ones. So the card that came out overall from this deck is Children. So I'm hearing this is twofold, right? It's either like whatever's happening right now and in this next chapter, it's got a lot to do with both of you, like healing and reconnecting with your inner child. You might find that you're getting a lot of like flashbacks, like hearing old songs, like getting little memories of like from when you were a kid. Maybe like even seeing photos of yourself from that time, like that's going to come up. And the other thing that this could indicate would be like everything that you're learning right now. Obviously it's for your own inner child, but also you're both working towards preparing to bring children into the world together. Or if you already have children, it could be like, yeah, it's the same as that, like that energy around that being healed for them as well, or with them. And I wanted to get a chakra card to finish off. So that could probably be like a very helpful meditation as you navigate this. Like if you're feeling particularly strong feelings of animosity towards like the other party or yourself or the situation, can you spend some time like meditating and imagining everyone involved as like their 5-year-old selves? Same as like looking at yourself and like how you're responding, just like connecting with that 5-year-old version of you and coming, from a gentle, loving place rather than a place of like judgment or expectation. Overall message for this connection, please. I'm feeling cold, like I want one card for you. So one card for our viewer, thank you. And okay, we got 2 cards for the other party. Oh, no, I get it. Okay, so this is for both of you. I think there's a bit of a theme from all the cards. Communication. Okay, that's twofold. Your card was listening. And then we have flexibility as well, has come out for your partner. It's funny because the other party, they had the yoga card and then now they've got the flexibility card with like a yoga position. So they could be quite into yoga or like they do something related to working their body. Or if they haven't, it's like that's really on their mind at the moment, coming through from their higher self. So I want to have a look at the guidebook for these. So for your person, they've got the sacral chakra with flexibility. This feels very like connecting with that feminine flow. Wait, I am free flowing and flexible. So they might have been in quite like a rigid place. They might have been looking at the situation for, it says, have you been feeling a little rigid in your thoughts or ideas lately? Maybe even a little stuck in your ways. This might be very triggering for you, like the fact that the other party is being so rigid about whatever the issue is, which is maybe creating like, it makes sense that would create blocks to communication, or it's the other way around where this is you and this is something that's very triggering for them. It's time it will be very beneficial and healing to look at some of these outdated ways and beliefs that could be wreaking havoc in your world. Take some time to tune in and see what no longer serves you and take the steps to bring about a little more flexibility. This card could also mean that you are being too rigid with a particular person and that it's time to give them and yourself a little slack. Flexibility is available to you right now. Let it in and allow for a life with a little more ease and grace. Doesn't that sound lovely? Thank you. So the affirmation, if you want to say it with me, is I am free flowing and flexible. Let's look at the other ones. So both of the other cards that came out were the throat chakra. Okay, so I feel like this is, or it could be, like person A, person B. I've been reading it as this is you, this is your person. It could be also flipped the other way around. But we'll say the throat chakra person. It's time to take note and listen. So messages and guidance come in many forms. You are being asked to stop for a moment and listen to the wisdom that is coming your way. You've asked for a sign or you've asked for guidance recently, and the answer will be revealed if you listen carefully. The most profound guidance comes from within, and it's time to start listening and trusting your own soul. Remember the idea of like autonomy, self-reliance again, like going to that inner guru rather than, valuing other people's opinions higher than your own inner guru. So this card can also suggest you're not listening deep enough at the present. It could be that someone is sharing how they feel or their perception of a situation, and you have not been listening with an open heart, which may be causing miscommunication, challenges, and conflict. That's very understandable if you're triggered and you're in sort of survival defensive mode. From that place, it's very, very hard to actually listen with an open heart and not sort of listen from a space of defensiveness. Once again, this could be you or this could be the other party. People will always have different perceptions and experiences, and it's important to allow both sides of the story to be heard and expressed. When we can understand this and not take people's expressions personally, we can be open to a world of unconditional love and communicate more from a place of love and understanding. Listen deeper in the silence and your answers will be revealed in divine timing. We have, I listen contently and hear the words of wisdom loud and clear. That's beautiful. So there's definitely, like, once again, a bit of a mirroring effect for both sides' cards. This idea of like, it's interesting how it's like the same outcome of like communication issues, of not being able to sort of hold space for the other party's perspective. But it seems like the two people, it's coming from different realms within their energetic selves, right? So the other party or whoever has this flexibility card, like the yoga side, it's coming from the sacral chakra. So this is related to like creativity as well, like powers of manifestation. So their blocks, or if this is your blocks would more be around things related to the sacral chakra. I want to see quickly what it says here. Where's the sacral chakra gone? So yeah, meditations around clearing the sacral chakra could be really helpful. Here we have, for cleansing and balancing the sacral chakra, lie comfortably and place a carnelian crystal in your hand or on your sacral chakra. So the color is powerful orange light spirals and swirls into your chakra point. Visualize any blockages around your creativity and sensuality dissolving into the light, and allow yourself to feel cleansed and inspired. My sacral chakra is balanced and aligned, and I am a creative, sensual expression of love that relates to others with ease and grace. So this can relate to karmic patterns, sexuality, and sensuality. You did have the bedroom card come up, so there's definitely something around that. Community, family, and tribe, emotional intelligence, healthy sexual relationships, pleasure and passion, self-acceptance and gratitude, and fulfillment of desires. That's interesting, like self-acceptance has come up a lot in this reading too. But healthy sexual relationships, that's been a theme that's coming up recently that I've been really wanting to explore myself as well, where there's just such a large gap, I guess, between the sexual environment that I grew up in, being constantly connected to the internet, having access to explicit content from a very young age, even sort of like, just what was accepted and normal and depicted in the media at the time. I think we were watching like The OC, what else was there? Gossip Girl. All of these things feed into our unconscious understanding of what sex is and what a sexual relationship looks like and how it should be played out. And the thing with this is, like, you're not, obviously you have to connect with someone else. So the environment, the context matters, right? Whereas like if you don't have a partner that's on the same level, then it's quite difficult to explore that realm. When it's like, if the foundation for it as a society is set here, it becomes very difficult to do it here, if that makes sense. Now, let me know if anyone's still here and that's something that is interesting to you, because I definitely want to dig into that further. What does it mean to treat sex as a sacred act? How do you come back? Like, if you weren't born into that, how do you come back from maybe, having done certain acts or treated your own sexual energy with a very sort of like casual approach, which is definitely something that I did when I was younger and didn't know any better. It was just the context and environment that I was thrown into. So yeah, that's interesting that that's come up. And then we also have the throat chakra is obviously the other main one. The card that you both had is communication. So yeah, throat chakra, I communicate with ease and grace and I am safe to express my truth. Ooh. So it's the color blue. Allow yourself to express yourself freely. So sit or lie comfortably. Place a blue lace agate crystal in your hand or on your throat chakra. Allow this crystal energy to support your process. Imagine a vibrant blue ray of light beaming into your throat chakra, cleansing and balancing this area. Feel this energy touch you deeply as it shines light into any blockages and transforms the old energy by opening the throat chakra and allowing yourself to express freely. Old fears about speaking the truth will dissolve and you will feel your throat chakra open as you begin to express from a deeper place of truth and integrity. Beautiful. And so I think this communication card, as the card that's come out for both of you, is pretty self-explanatory, right? Let's see if there's any... We have here, like, when you doubt, hinder, or manipulate the flow in communication, this interference blocks the throat chakra and can create a world of suppression and confusion. Oh, wow. It's like something to remember. I feel like if you have that thing where, like, you understand it's important to express what's coming up, but then there's a lot of resistance. So maybe that resistance sometimes will say, like, oh, now's not a good time, like, or about to go to work, or now's not a good time, like there's all this other stuff to do. And then it's like recognizing the lie within that excuse, right? Where it's like, okay, it doesn't matter whether now is a good time or not. Now is when this feeling has come up. So it's important to, like, just express it. We don't have to solve it right now, but it's good to express it in the moment as it comes up, as calmly as you possibly can. But maybe just kind of like understanding that on that energetic level, something else happens for every like thought or like feeling that you suppress. And that it's possible that a lot of the confusion that you're both currently experiencing is because of an energetic buildup of all of these things that have been left unsaid. And that even if you, like, when you start to, you know, actually speak the truth, you might feel like it's getting thrown back in your face and there's even more conflict. But once again, we have this card, remember, like optical illusion, things are not what they seem. Sometimes when you start cleaning, things look messier before it starts to look clean. So yeah, being encouraged to speak up and share your feelings. Oh, this is a good one. Communication can also mean writing your feelings down on paper. That's so powerful. So definitely if you felt called to do that, sign. Confirmation. Okay, yeah, and it's that, like, as you go through that process of starting to speak your truth, you'll find, like, whatever's going on externally, however people respond, within yourself, you will feel less confusion. Within yourself, you will feel more clarity because you're smoothing things out on an energetic level by working through those blockages. I really needed to hear that as well. This is something that I struggle with. I always would rather, like, hold it in rather than share it, because I feel like from watching The Mind a lot, my excuse is always like, I might not feel this way or think this way anymore once I've calmed down in like 2 weeks, I won't feel this anymore. So if I say it now, like, what's the point of saying it now if I'm not going to be feeling that way in 2 weeks or like once I've calmed down? And it's just like, it's kind of not, it's not honoring, it's not honoring the truth of what I feel in that moment, which is just as valid. And I guess I always have this fear of like, saying the thing that comes up straight away, because it's like, oh, what if you know, whether it's a lie or I don't know, like something's wrong with it, I need to like make sure I fully figured it out myself first before I can like let it out. Yeah, like let me know if that makes sense, but that's something that I'm still working through, like realizing like I'm not like, yeah, words are important, but it's okay to just express what's coming out without feeling the need to filter it. Maybe not like to the whole world, but at least in your own universe to like give yourself permission to like be authentic in that way, rather than to like be like, oh, this is how I authentically feel, but there's something not quite right about that, so I'm gonna just like shove that down and only express when some judgmental part of me dictates that like, okay, that's acceptable. I don't know. I'm clearly still a work in progress. So this has been like the longest reading I've done on here. I guess I'll just trust it. Is there anything else that wants to come through? We'll finish off with one of these as always. I invite you to bring your awareness back to your heart space and back to yourself. Just as a lovely parting message. Thank you. We've had 2. Wow, I've been thinking about this card today because this has been a theme that keeps coming up. The Sovereign. Remember autonomy, sovereignty? I am my authentic self and no one has dominion over me. Wow. And we have the Joyful. I've never gotten this before. I know that the purpose of life is to be happy and live purposefully. I love that. That's beautiful. Well, thank you for being here today. If this resonated, please like and subscribe. Let me know so that I can keep going and the channel can keep growing. Love.